the journey of making Mandalorian begins. So far, only managed to clean a bit. Can't even show it. Also, you need to excuse my mess, but yeah, I don't have a workshop, so I work in a kitchen. So what I did here was basically to use my old helmet as a base, because from what I observed, it is very similar. Like when you don't take into consideration upper parts, like this bottom, and it goes slightly like that, just like the Mando here. And I'll be now starting creating a template, and hopefully it will work. Also, I have Baby Yoda there to help me. Okay, so what I've done here is basically I taped it, tried to draw the pattern and fill it with aluminium foil to make it bigger, but I'm not sure I am entirely happy with it, so we will see after I cut it out. Because as you can see, this helmet wasn't best. I just used it as a base because I'm lazy. So here you can see me cutting the initial pattern and trying it on to make sure it fits my head, and then cutting it into smaller pieces so that I can trace them onto my EVA foam and then cut the whole piece out. Here I am tracing another half of the helmet with the one I have just prepared to make sure they are identical. Now I am creating the details at the front by figuring out the initial sketch and checking the results in the mirror. Time for the more difficult part, working out all of those bendy areas at the front of the helmet. I am looking at the laptop with the reference in front of me and trying to observe and figure out areas in which these parts will soon bend. Now that I have my template done, I am tracing it with tape again for the second part of the helmet. Tracing new pattern down so everything turns out as I have designed. Then, as you can see, I have already cut the visor area in one half. I did that to trace it to another half and make sure my sketches are even, and then cut it out on the second half. I did this, and I realized that it's too fat or whatever, and I made different version slightly.
Now I have to repair everything.
Time for some dremeling and smoothing out the visor areas. It's quite an annoying process to record, and at the time we had our neighbors renovating their house, so I didn't capture all of my dremeling moments. Now to the more fun part, details! I am cutting some grooves to help me shape the front of the helmet, and after they are done, I put some glue into them and glued the sides together to create this beautiful bendy look. Here's the look so far after all the gluing. As you can see, there are some imperfections, but it's normal. It happens sometimes. But soon it will be time to deal with it. I didn't really like the shape of the helmet, so I started playing around with it, dremeled it, and tried to keep it in a better shape by gluing a strip of foam inside, but I can tell you right now, it didn't work the way I wanted it to. I also decided to extend the bottom of the helmet to give it a bit more feminine look, so here you can see me protecting the added foam with thinner 2mm one, so that it doesn't break in the future. And so the sculpting begins. I prepared the surface by adding a bit of water, and then I put the foam clay into water and wet my hands to make it easy to shape. After that, I began to try to replicate and extend the details at the front. I also used foam clay to protect and strengthen weaker points in my build. I'll be honest, I made a mistake, a bit. Not really, because I remembered, but this is my first helmet and it's not perfect. And I took this as a base for this helmet. And technically it's okay, it's just the center, for example. If you can look, you can see. The center is more or less here, and it should be there, so it's more like egg here and too tiny there. So what I will do, cut it properly to make it shaped more like this boy and like my head. But worst case scenario, if I break it, I'll just give it to Kyle and Mel, build another one. Not the best idea, because I will lose one day of work, but things happen. I did some measurements. My head is 55 centimeters around here. The head for wigs and helmets is 59 or 8. So I already have extra 3 centimeters, and this big thing is 68. So I think I will try to make it smaller by around those 8 centimeters by shaping it, and we'll see how bad it looks, because I'm not sure how it will work out, but oh well, adventure. I begin the surgery by drawing new lines for cuts, trying to design a new potential shape, and once it's done, I will rip the piece apart and cut it. I must say it's very satisfying if you're frustrated with your work. We've got 8 pieces now. Look at this monstrosity. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, I guess 4, 5, 6, 7. Or 8, fine. I will make it half a centimeter smaller on every side, and this way I will lose what I need to lose, hopefully. The result was even worse, and I hated it so much that I didn't even record anything for you guys, and I just went straight into working on a new one. So that's it for now. I don't want to bore you too much. If you want to see next video, the second part of making of Mandalorian helmet is available on my Patreon for this month.